I want to welcome Agile XRM to the podcast. I've known the people at Agile XRM for the past 12 years. I've seen how their business process management tool can add massive value to complex organizational processes in sectors such as finance and government. If you have complex processes or a need for dialogues on the Power Platform or Dynamics 365, take a look at how this BPM tool can add value. You can find them at agilexrm.com or check out the show notes for more details. Welcome to the MVP Show. My intention is that you listen to the stories of these MVP guests and are inspired to become an MVP and bring value to the world through your skills. If you have not checked it out already, I do a YouTube series called How to Become an MVP. The link is in the show notes. With that, let's get on with the show. Today's guest is from Hungary. He's the CEO of Eftis. How do you pronounce the last name of your company? Fitz. Fitz. How do you pronounce the last name?
Well, it's Fitz Magyarország or Fitz Hungary, because it's Hungary in Hungarian.
He's currently his fourth year of MVP. He has 15 years of IT experience implementing large-scale ERP solutions and 7 years in Dynamics NAV, consulting and development. Since 2009, he runs his own company with over 40 people, so a good-sized company specializing in NAV, Dynamics NAV, Business Central, of course, Dynamics 365 Sales, and he's one of the top 3 providers of integration services in Hungary. You can find him on Twitter. You can find him at Faludig is where you'll find him. I'll make sure I put that in the show notes. Gabor, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you on. I visited Hungary in my, it would have been 2018, 2017 or so. Lovely country. Tell us about what do you do when you're not working? What does food, family, and fun, the 3 F's as I like to refer to them as, that you do when you're not working in the business?
Well, actually, running a company takes a lot of time from family, but I try to spend time with my family. I have obviously a wife and we have 4-year-old Roscoe, so keeps us very busy. And so, well, in terms of hobbies, well, I do a lot of sports, or I try to do a lot of sports. So I do kettlebell for roughly about 12 years-ish. And recently we started to run with the company. And so I started to pick up running, which was quite a challenge for me because I always hated running. And well, there's a lake in Hungary. I'm not sure if you've been to Lake Balaton, but there's this challenge to... You can run yourself around. It's about 220 kilometers. Or you can run it in groups, and that's what we do. And so I took up about 7 kilometers last time, and it was quite some fun. And then I just started to run. And just quite recently, I also picked up sailing, which should be kind of giving me the relaxing time after work.
So on the running, when you say you run 7 kilometers, so then is it like a relay where somebody else in your company then takes the next part of it and you all have part of the run to do?
Yeah. Well, I'm
nice.
Obviously I'm running the smallest and the slowest, as you can imagine.
Oh, well done. Tell me about how you got into setting up your company.
So I've been actually... So I've been working for a multinational for more than 10 years, and I was telling my wife, well, I reached my career at that multinational, the top. So I realized that, there's so much more better people in that company, and I just couldn't get I could get over the top of my block, and I was telling my wife, okay, probably before we, it was just right after marriage, but before the kid comes, I should try to become an entrepreneur. It will maybe last for half a year, and then so on, and we'll see. And so that's how it kind of started. So then I quit that multinational GE, and then there was a small opportunity to do a nav implementation, and that's how it all started.
Wow. And so, is that right? About 40 staff you have now on your team?
Yep. Give or take. I can't keep count.
Yeah. But that's pretty fantastic. It's a good sized business. And of course, Business Central has come along. Business Central's now become a big product in Microsoft's ecosystem. And did I see you're also doing Dynamics 365 sales?
Yeah, we do sales and Power Platform. Just recently, we're trying to do a lot of these, convert the homegrown developments or custom developments to Power Platform, and we're trying to see how the market reacts. And well, so far it looks good.
Yeah. What's been the appetite for the Power Platform? It's only been out really about 4 years, 5 years maybe. Are you seeing quite an uptake of companies wanting to build apps, wanting to automate processes using those Microsoft tools?
Yeah, it's quite a blurry thing for me, because I think what we're getting from Microsoft is that this is the big thing, and probably in the US or Australia this is kind of maybe a steep growth. I think in Hungary the message is probably that we have probably the smaller companies are very keen to jump on them, and you do small stuff, maybe self-service things, but bigger companies are more difficult to kind of convince. Obviously the market is also full of other low coding platforms, so Microsoft is obviously a good player, but it's just difficult to get bigger players or bigger companies to get started on Power Platform. But small companies are in the queue, SMB, right?
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Do you feel like this is a Hungary specific thing or more broader?
I'm not sure. I think obviously Microsoft needs to push the marketing, and I think the tooling is obviously the tooling is great. We've known these platforms for a long time, right? It's just that a new marketing stuff. But I think I wouldn't think it's Hungary only, but I think obviously Hungary being a Central European post-communist bloc, and obviously costing is key factor. It may be. I hear the US is growing very steadily in terms of low coding. What about in Australia?
Same deal. It's becoming extremely popular. So I'll give you an example. So recently came across a law enforcement agency. So state level, about 24,000 officers, sworn officers, right, to give you an idea of sizing. And all of them on the Power Platform with Power Apps to do their day-to-day jobs. And that was to replace a back-end system that was made up of Excel and Access databases. So we're seeing kind of those type of implementations where it is quite large, or I would definitely call that an enterprise deployment, right, based on the number of folks using licenses at scale. And so definitely there's been that steady increase, probably only in the last 2 years, that adoption is starting to happen, because at the end of the day, every company has its unique processes, and the problem is, of course, there's not enough people to build those unique apps, automations, integrations to other systems than there are developers in the world. So I think that's why we're seeing that uptake and the flexibility, particularly around buying the license once and then deploying multiple apps. When you deal with a large organization, there's a lot of attraction to that.
Yeah. No, that's something that I can also see, but maybe I was just thinking whilst you were speaking that maybe because our clientele is mostly SMB, and SMBs, they're picking smaller stuff. But yeah, we do see bigger implementations, but just not as the volume at the moment.
Yeah. That makes sense. Tell me, how did your journey begin? As in, first of all, how did you get into technology, and then how did you get into Navision or Nav?
So, well, actually, it's I as a kid I didn't know what I wanted to do. Obviously, we had a ZX Spectrum, so we played a lot with games with the computer, but I didn't get excited with it other than playing games, um, and then in secondary school, in fact, I almost failed a class with IT, and then. It's funnily enough, my father, who has no clue about technology, he kind of um, pressured me to learn everything, from A to Z, whatnot, and that's probably how it started. And then I kind of became class first or number one in the class, and then I just got excited about setting up computer systems and doing programming and whatnot. And then, well, I guess from there on, I picked up IT jobs, and kind of that's how it started. So I went into a university to do a system admin role, and then universities are not well paying jobs, so the lead IT guy left, and then I had to take his role, and then so you learn a lot when you have a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, totally. So how did you first touch NAV?
So, like I said, I worked with GE, and I did a lot of enterprise projects, SAP and Siebel, and bigger projects, and when I wanted to become um, an entrepreneur, and I had this opportunity to run for a small company, a Nav implementation, I picked up a PM role, and so that's kind of like how it started in 2009. I led an FM implementation from the client side. And then I just gradually started to do more nav and started my own company. It's quite difficult and quite challenging to run your own company compared to having your own job role. In fact, I started this company, and then I got so fed up with not growing and not getting enough money. I was ready to kind of stop the company in 2012. So then I picked up a job in Ireland to just to see, because I was kind of interested to see how it is to work outside Hungary. And so I took about 3-4 months in Ireland to realize that there's so much better running a company than I was ever doing it. And then I came back and I kind of restructured.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you must have grown quite massively because 40 staff now.
Yeah. Actually, that was quite an eye opener, because running a company requires you a lot of, how do I put it, being more aggressive and more direct, and making more decisions, because previously I was more like like an employee and running it for fun, but having fun in a company is just part time. You have to also look at other factors. Yeah, and yes, when I came back, then we grew 50% year on year.
Wow, that's so good. That's so good. How did you become an MVP?
So I always like to teach and share, and I wrote a blog, and yeah, and I shared. And then I guess I guess at Microsoft, somebody realized that, and they recommended for me for an MVP. I write my blog, and I publish. I try to publish more user focused content, and recently more technical and in between. And yeah, and funnily enough, I'm 4-year MVP, but it was 3 years consecutive, and then I kind of I got thrown out of the MVP program, and just yes, and just I didn't publish in fairness enough, and then and so just lucky enough I managed to get back last year. So we'll see if I can still remain this year.
Yeah, because right now, of course, we're all in renewal time, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so cool. It's good to see that people, one, can go out of the program, but also then come back into the program again by doing the things that, line up with Microsoft.
I got questions how to do it, and I can recommend people to not to lose focus and go back and do more publishing, try to do more webinars, whatnot, just to engage the community, and I'm sure people like you and me will recommend you guys, and yeah, not lose focus, get back.
Last question I have for you is, how big is the community in Hungary around, let's say, Microsoft Business Applications, so all the products that fall under that? How big's the community? How many people are involved in Hungary now in this area?
So I would say the partner network is about, 20, 25 companies. So you can, and I'm talking specifically about BC Power Platform only. So I would say the Dynamics community would be 400 plus. Not that many people active, but we do meetups with up to 40 people ish. That's quite a big meetup, I would say.
Is that just all your own staff?
Nah. Actually, funnily enough, not all of them are coming, or not many, in fact.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Any other advice you'd like to give to other people maybe aspiring to become an MVP?
Well, I would say you need to look at how other MVPs are publishing, and you need to find your spot in there, because there's always content, and you don't need to feel intimidated about the great people, because I also feel intimidated, but there's so many great guys publishing so many great technical contents that you would never thought of. But there's always stuff that you can share. There's always stuff that let's say business people want to understand, or people that with less skills, they need explanation. So I suggest you find your spot, and then you do start sharing, start speaking, get your comfort role. That's what you need to do.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you like the show and want to be a supporter, check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 Guy. Thanks again, and see you next time.